brace for blast. Riding through the city, we built to last. Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show, where the game runs deep, truths unfold. Grind on the field, hustle on court. Atlanta stands tall, that's real sport. Mercedes-Benz Storm, fans wild, loud, ATL united. Soccer game proud, blood,
Bam! Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, the Minister, Jonathan Simmons, and we thank God for all those of you who have joined us here on our broadcast. Especially want to bless those of you who are, uh, we definitely want to bless all those of you who are watching us here on various platforms. Especially, we want to give a big shout out to those of you watching us on the big screen TV. I'll call you back. Especially those who are watching on the big screen TV. Appreciate each and every one of you who are doing that, watching us on the Roku Network. As you can see, I'm at work. I'm at the place of our title sponsor, Allen Vigil Ford. And for those of you who don't know, if you need a vehicle for yourself, you actually can get it from me. That's right. Call me up, 678-364-3979, or you can hit me up on the cell, 678-410-9833. We have new Fords, new Lincolns, used cars of every type. And it doesn't matter what your credit's like. And the reason why I know, because my credit is not tip top, but I was able to get a car. I'm driving now. It's been about a year. A beautiful 2016 Lincoln MKZ, affordable payments, and you will find out that you too can be riding nicely. So give me a call, 678-410-9833 is the cell, or you can call me right at the work number, 678-364-3979. Well, as you know, guys, when we do Saturday, it is really a recap of what is going on in the world of high school football. Also some previews of what's going on in terms of the pros. And you know, we're down here in the ATL in Atlanta right now. The Falcons are red hot. So we're going to be talking about what the Falcons need to do in the road trip they're taking to Carolina. You know, can the Falcons keep the momentum that they have winning their last two games and now find themselves shockingly, I shouldn't say shockingly, but after where they started, they are now in first place. So we'll talk about that. We'll touch maybe a little bit on the Major League Baseball playoffs. But, of course, we do high school football. And last night was no different. We were Friday Night Lights at our favorite place, which is the Tara Stadium, located right here down the road from us in Clayton County. And our sponsor, our title sponsor, is, of course, my employer, Allen Vigil Ford and Lincoln. And we had a big game last night. Jonesboro trying to get back in the winning column, lost last week to Central Carrollton, a tough game on the road. But they had another regional game against a fellow county team, Monday's Mill. And last night, Jonesboro took out all of their aggravation on Monday's Mill. Monday's Mill, a team that in the last 3 or 4 years has been pretty good, has went to the playoffs, but have fallen off because they've had a lot of seniors that were on those top teams now are gone. And so, you know, it is. They have to reboot, regroup, and reload. And it's been a little bit of a challenge for Monday's Mill. Again, not the team they were in years past. And Jonesboro took advantage of that, basically beating the brakes off them, 48-0. Hey, Jonesboro put up 48-0. They dominated from start to finish. They were up 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. Their run game was working. Defense was working, causing turnovers. Really, I would say for me, covering Jonesboro was one of the best games they had overall. Just everything was working. Offense, defense, to some degree, even special teams. Even when they botched an extra point attempt, They were able to make the 2-point conversion. So yeah, Jonesboro Cardinals outstanding game, knocking off the Money's Mill Tigers by a final score of 48-0. And they also had a big announcement. Well, let me do this. Let's go right to, as we used to say in the old program. I shouldn't say I saw it. I used to be watching TV back home, and there was a guy called Warner Wolf. So those of you who are OGs like me from the New York area, he used to be on Channel 2 Sports on a weekend evening recap, and he would always say, "Let's go to the videotape." Well, for those of you listening on WIGO 1570, that won't be the case, but you'll be able to hear this audio as we talk to the head coach from the Jonesboro Cardinals, Mr. Timothy Floyd, as he talks about his team having such a big victory over Mondays Mill.
Yes, sir. Sam, a big game here, a big win for Jonesboro. They pitched a shutout 48-0 here over Mondays Mill. And I got head coach Timothy Floyd to talk to us. Coach Floyd, what was the key to you guys being so dominant in this game?
I think the guys were really excited just to get out and play again. You know, we had a tough one a couple of Mondays ago. Then we had a bye week, so the guys were just excited to get out and line down another Friday night.
And you seem like you found a new running back there. He was very explosive in the first half. Talk to us about that young man.
Yeah, Isaiah Davis. He's a kid that was behind Lucius, so Lucius was the man. So Isaiah, we call him ID. He did a good job of stepping into that role. His number's called, so when your number's called, you got to do something, and he most definitely did.
And also on defense, you guys controlled the game, multiple turnovers. What was your defense picking up there on the calls that will be made by Mondays Mill?
So it was just all about reading your keys, because I think your keys will take you to wherever it is you want to go, and I think Cortez did a good job of quarterbacking the defense out there tonight.
All right, Coach, I think that's our cue. Sam, we're behind the Jonesboro Mighty Marching Cardinals. They announced tonight they're going to London, one of the best bands in the land. Captain Tim from Real Talk Sports on the South Side. Big win for Jonesboro, 48-0 over Mondays Mill.
It was heard from the coach, the Timothy Floyd, a good fan of this program. As a matter of fact, if you guys want to hear from the coaches and some of the players, tune to us on every second Tuesday of the month. We have Jonesboro Tuesday. We actually bring on the head coach and some of his players to talk about their win from the week before, and oftentimes give us a preview, but more importantly, give you a peek behind the scenes. We have a chance to talk to the young men, talk about what their aspirations are going forward. Really great conversation last week as we found out some of the players were looking to be scientists, looking to be doctors. So it's always a great thing to hear from the young men. Again, tune in. We try to bring in a high school team at least every other week. So please, if you want to see the good news in sports, check us out Tuesdays, 8 p.m. on all social media platforms. Well, I should say most of them. All right, the other thing is you heard there was a big announcement by the Jonesboro Mighty Marching Cardinals. Now, for those of you who are outside of our area, well, forget about it. They're internationally known. They were the team that, the band that you saw in the Super Bowl commercials with Usher. This band is with Jonesboro High School. They're called the Jonesboro Majestic Marching Cardinals, and we had the band leader come on with us after the game to talk about a big announcement for the team, or I should say for the band.
All right, guys, we're at the end of a big win by Jonesboro, 48-0. We had a big announcement tonight, and we're going to let the band leader, the man behind the Jonesboro Mighty Marching Cardinals, introduce himself and tell you what went on tonight with a big announcement.
First of all, like I said, like you just said, we got a big win tonight, so big shouts out to our varsity football team, Coach Floyd and his coaches. They are phenomenal. We stand behind you 10 toes down all the time. My name is Linnell Goodwin. I am the band director of this wonderful group that you see behind me, the Majestic Marching Cardinals of Jonesboro High School. And yes, we made an announcement to our community tonight that we have once again done it again, and we have been invited to represent not just the city, not just the county, not just the state, not just the United States, but no, I'm serious, the United States in the New Year's Day parade in London, England in 2026. So we're going across the pond, and we're taking Clayton County with us.
That's great news. So you guys are going to be at the Macy's Day Parade, I guess, in 2025?
Yeah, next month.
And then heading out. across the pond.
Heading out.
Big stuff going on here. Jonesboro mighty marching Cardinals, guys. You heard them during the game, and so you know how we do it. We're going to catch them marching out and head to the house. All right.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
As you can see, great stuff here going on in Clayton County. And it's important to, I think, really celebrate this county. It's a county that's, several years back it went through, several lumps and bumps. Over the last 15, 20 years, there's been seismic shocks to their economic stability here. First, back in the early 2000s, when I first got here, they closed not one but two Army bases, which, as you know, the Army personnel, stable, good middle class jobs, obviously being as part of the Army, good corporate citizens, good citizens of the area in general, lost not one but two of those bases. And then number two, before that, one of the bigger blasts was that we had actually had a Ford plant, one of the best Ford plants in the country and one of the best plants in the world, was located also right on the cusp of Clayton County. That closed, losing thousands again of good paying middle class jobs and stable families. And last but not least, when the city of Atlanta, I shouldn't say last but not least, even before that, city of Atlanta closed a huge housing project that was right nearby. And not, I grew up in a housing project, so I'm not saying that that's necessarily the end all of end all. But unfortunately, in today's times and in those times, a lot of people brought in baggage that really helped would be a detriment to the county. So at the end of the day, the county just was under siege. So we found ourselves here in Clayton County really in a very difficult position. And last but not least, we lost accreditation, which meant a lot of families moved out of the county. But fast forward to today, 2024, and thankfully, we're in a situation where the county has rebounded and is continuing to rebound. Our new superintendent of schools, I believe his first name is Dr. Anthony Smith. Dr. Smith, if you got the first name wrong, please forgive me. But Dr. Smith is in the process of using SPLOS, which is tax money, and reinvesting it into the schools. And all across Clayton County, new schools are being built, old schools are being renovated, and consequently, we're excited to be a part of this county. WIGO, for those of you listening on the radio, as you know, we are planted right smack dab in the middle of the county, and we are going to continue to bring you the good news of what's happening in the county as we go along our business. So again, big shout out to Jonesboro High School for the big win over Monday's Mill, 48-0. Big shout out to the majestic marching Cardinals. As you can hear, guys, they are just doing some big things, and it's because of your support. And again, if you want to support them more, please go to the website. I think it's Jonesboro MMC. I'll try to see if I can get you the information before we get off the broadcast on where you can possibly donate and contribute to the band, because again, they don't get paid. So it is costly to make these travels and to move about the cabin, all that thing. And certainly we want to try to go ahead and help them out. Here it is for those of you who are watching, and I'll also give it to you for those who are listening. Their Cash App to contribute is, of course, $, JHS Band. So that's J like John, H like Harry, S like Sam, Band. So if you want to contribute to what these young people are doing, please send them a Cash App, $JHS Bands. Well, we're going to give you some more scores here about in terms of what was going on around the county and even in other areas around Metro Atlanta. And also, if you are interested in keeping up with all going on with high school sports, go to our website, realtalksports.net. And we actually have a page called High School Football. And there's a scoreboard for the South Side counties, Clayton County, Henry County, the South Fulton County area, and DeKalb County. So let's go to the scoreboard. As I just mentioned earlier in the broadcast, the Jonesboro Cardinals at home thrashed the Money Mill Tigers 48-0 in a wild shootout game. Cedar Grove knocked off North Clayton 52-35. The Utopian Eagles, brand new, I guess you want to call them a charter school, having some problems. Obviously, a brand new program taking on a very stout Lamar County, a team that has often been in the postseason play. Lamar County at home ran them out of the building 64-6. That was our scores there for our Clayton County residents. And we also have, for you, let's see if we have any more scores. That's it for Clayton County. Let's jump ahead now to DeKalb County. We had a barn burner right up the road from us in DeKalb County. Good friend of mine, Pastor Sergio Kroom, works at that school, and Southwest DeKalb, in a double overtime thriller, knocks off a very strong Tucker team 42-35. As I mentioned, Cedar Grove, DeKalb County knocked off Clayton County's North Clayton Eagles 52-35. The Columbia Eagles pitched a shutout against Miller Grove, 34-0. Columbia having one of their best years in a long time up there in DeKalb County. Lamar Christian knocked off the Cross Keys Indians 50-8. Woodward Academy from the South Side, again, a program that has traditionally been a good one, flexed their muscles at home, knocking off Dunwoody 49-17. The Raiders of Mays High School, Atlanta public school system, went on the road and in a narrow victory came from behind, I believe, to knock off Martin Luther King 20-15. So those are your scores from local areas, Clayton County and DeKalb County. Let's scoot to Henry County before we take a break. In Henry County, Eagles Landing Christian Academy, a team that traditionally is very good. At one point, a couple of years ago, they ran off a string of 4 consecutive state championships. Like I said, guys, sometimes it's hard to reboot and reload. And Eagles Landing having a downturn year for them, especially, were thrashed by Jones County, 42-14 at home. Meanwhile, speaking of Eagles Landing, the public high school of Eagles Landing, also called the Eagles, were knocked off by the Hampton Hornets 31-6 in a clash of 2 Henry County schools. The Ola Mustangs rebounded from a tough loss, 14-10 last week against Stocksbridge. They took it out against a fellow Stockbridge and Henry County team, Woodland, beating them on the road 45-6. The Douglas Astros from the Atlanta Public School System at home knocked off Luella 39-13. And the Stockbridge Tigers continue to roll on down the road, knocking off another Henry County school, Union Grove, beating them on the road 31-14. Well, those are some of your high school scores here from down the South Side. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show in just a minute. You know what to do. Don't go nowhere, please. Thank you, and thank you.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our #1 priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net.
Coming up next, it's the Real Talk Sports Show, bringing you great sports talk with perspective. Now, here's our host, Jonathan Simmons.
All right, guys, we're back here again. You're listening to and watching the Real Talk Sports Show as we broadcast to you on multiple platforms. For those of you who are listening via audio, you know we're on WIGO, the legendary WIGO, Pacesetter 1570 AM. We also are broadcasting live on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitch. We're also on the big screen. What do you mean by the big screen? That's right. On your home TVs, if you have Roku, download the Phoenix Entertainment Channel. And if you do that, you will find the Real Talk Sports Show broadcasting to you on your big flat screen TV at the house, again, on the Phoenix Entertainment Channel. And speaking of Phoenix Entertainment Channel, if you are thinking about the idea of putting your own TV show or video podcast on the air, give me a call, 678-410-9833. And our partners over at the wonderful operation of the Phoenix Entertainment Group will be more than happy to get you some great pricing to get you on the air. Also, remember, if you want to do your own radio show, same thing, give me a call. WIGO has some limited spaces available, and that's why you can do your own on-the-air show, or we have a podcast facility, and you can do your podcast right there. So, again, I do more than just talk sports. If you need a car, I'm your guy. If you need some media help, I'm your guy. You know how it is. The more hats you wear, sometimes the better. Even the Bible says that you have to give a little bit to each thing because you don't know which thing might succeed or fail. So, again, help me out here if you can. And if you do, you'll be surprised. I might be able to help you out as well. All right. So this weekend, the Falcons head on the road as they travel up the road to see the Carolina Panthers. The Falcons right now are red hot after two electrifying wins at home here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Must-see TV. The Falcons won the first game. They won the first game in a game-ending field goal to knock off, excuse me, sorry about that, guy, the New Orleans Saints, and then say, hey, good news. On a short week on Thursday night, came back against another division opponent, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and tying the game with just 1 second to go. And in overtime, offense gets the ball, and Kirk Cousins throws a strike to Cordell Hodge, and the Falcons found themselves now 2-0 in the division, sitting on top of the division at 3-2, and they have the potential now. I don't want to say necessarily put a stranglehold, but certainly put themselves in ideal position if they can knock off the Carolina Panthers this Sunday. Now, this game on paper would seem to be a no-brainer for the Falcons. Ladies and gentlemen, that's where the danger always is. The trap game. So my question to all those of you who are watching and listening is, what do the Falcons need to do to be able to avoid the stumble and bumble? Because it does happen. We saw it in college football. Shocking of all shocks, we saw the Vanderbilt Commodores. I mean, keep in mind, this is a team with the Commodores. This is a team whose mascot is like a hound dog, kind of, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, the Commodores, a team who Nick Saban, former Alabama coach, said in the pregame, unfortunately, he said the easiest place to play in the SEC is Vanderbilt. And up until last Saturday, that was the case. But Alabama, still basking in the glow of their big win over their arch rival, the Georgia Bulldogs, found themselves in a situation where they could not overcome the Vanderbilt Commodores on the road. So that's the thing the Falcons have to look out for. You don't want to be in a situation when you're a trap game. You have to be careful to make sure that you try to get rid of those Panthers early. So how do they do that? Number one, continue to do what they did last week. Spread the ball around. We had a Kyle Pitts sighting, 8 receptions. How about that? Drake London turning into the stud receiver that we thought he could be. 12 receptions, 154 yards. Now, the ground game was slowed down a little bit because Tampa Bay was hell-bent to make sure that the Falcons would not control the game by running the ball. But this week, I think the Falcons can go right back to it. Bijan Robinson a little banged up. No worries. Go to the bowling ball, Tyler Algiers. I'm thinking Tyler Algiers get that ball 15 or 20 times. I think he should be able to rush for close to 100 yards. But even if he doesn't run the ball, I say hit him in the flat, hit him on those like wheel routes, and I think the Falcons should be able to control the game. Now, last but not least, we're looking to see hopefully some Falcons pass rush. So far, the Falcons defense has been bend but not break, but we've not seen what we thought we would see from Mr. Matthew Judon. That is a guy who's an absolute beast off the edge. Let's go to social media. We have some comments there. Let's go to it right here. And we got, oh man, Maceo Hurd is in the building. What's going on, sir? Now, for those of you who also like to really get down and dirty about terms of what's happening here in the Atlanta area, check out the Crush Sports Talk. That's Maceo and his partner, Emmanuel Glaze. These guys know anything and everything about what's going on in the world of sports, especially in the ATL, because that's where they be from. And so they bring it on the real. They've had some of the great athletes, Dominique Wilkins, all kind of guys on their show. Check them out. The Crush Sports Talk Show. That's some bad brothers. I don't think they're as bad as us, but some bad brothers. Anyway, Maceo, appreciate you for checking in on the show. Yeah, guys, like I said again, the Falcons need to basically stick with the game plan similar to what they used to do when they had Matt Ryan. If you remember in the early days, they had Michael Turner, and Michael Turner, the burner, when he came along to the Falcons, was a beast on the ground and allowed Matt Ryan to be a very efficient and very effective play action quarterback. And that's what Kirk Cousins needs to be. The guy's 35 years old, coming off a torn ACL, and he's not a mobile quarterback anyway. So at the end of the day, what is the solution for the Falcons winning and not falling into the trap? Run the ball, play action off the run, get some points early, get ahead early, and then finally unleash a pass rush that we have not yet seen from this Falcon team. So that's my recipe, guys, on the road. If they can win this, here's the thing that's crazy. Think about this. After the loss to Pittsburgh, where they looked terrible, and even in the win the next week that they had against the Eagles, which was a great game, they came from behind. And we looked at this team, we said, we paid Kirk Cousins all his money. They don't look that good. Kyle Pitts is not getting the ball. And we had a whole laundry list of things that the Falcons weren't doing well. But suddenly, 2 weeks later, all of a sudden the Falcons are the toast of the town. As a matter of fact, toast of the NFL. Swag surfing has now hit the national media. Matter of fact, they even have me swag surfing. That's right. You go to my Instagram page and you'll see the minister in a very slow and non-rhythmic movement doing the swag surfing. I had to get it in. So now this team, like I said, the darling of the national media, everybody's hype on the ATL culture. So it would be a shame if they went on the road and played against the worst team in the NFL and lost the game. So again, you guys got my my strategy for not doing that. And like I said again, if the Falcons can stay with that, keep in mind this, guys, they'll be 4-2. They'll be atop of the division. They'll be 3-0 in the division, 3-0 in the NFC. And suddenly we got a team that is doing what we expected to do, on the move to heading to the playoffs. All right, guys, we're getting ready to wrap it up here. We go to social media one more time. My man Maceo giving me some applause because I shouted him out. Appreciate you, bro. You always do the same thing to me as well. We appreciate all the local media here. A lot of you guys may not know, but here in Atlanta, it really is a different flavor. You have a lot of independent podcasts. And fortunately for us, the major teams like the Hawks, like the Braves, not so much the Braves, but the Hawks and the Falcons do allow us as small podcasters. You know, I guess we have to have a certain level of fan engagement, but they do give us credentials to cover the game. So big shout out to the ATL sports teams for giving us kind of that local ATL flavor. Maybe I want to call it a little urban if you want to, but definitely we thank God for those guys who are allowing us to do that. All right, guys, as I told you, I'm at the work spot at Allen Vigil Ford and Lincoln, who is our premier sponsor for high school football, and I got to go. But again, appreciate all those of you who watched and tuned into the broadcast each and every week. Again, if you want to follow the show, you know what to do. We're Real Talk Sports, the number 7 on every social media platform. Even on Twitch, while you gamers are, we there too. Real Talk Sports, the number 7. Also, go to our website if you would, please. Our website is realtalksports.net. Well, you know, guys, you say to yourselves, you know, every now and then, Simmons, we hear people referring you to the minister and Rev. But that's because I'm a real minister. That's right. Licensed minister, I have been for 30 years. So before I get off the broadcast, you know, I want to encourage you to do. If in fact you do not know the Lord Jesus Christ, your personal Savior, I got to tell you, you need to do so. You say, why is that? Why? Because he loved you. And he came here, fully man, fully God, died for your sins, but rose from the dead. And if you repent of your sins and believe in him, 2 great things happen. Number 1, you become a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. And number 2, you become an adoptive child of God with all the rights therein. You know what that means? You can now go to God like a heavenly parent, ask him for anything you need or desire, and according to his will, he'll give it to you. And when you die, you go to that happy place called heaven, where there's no of the following: no pain, no pandemic, no bad people anywhere. You never get old. You never die. You never get sick. And you get a chance to be with God and Jesus Christ and all the people of love face to face. And you avoid that nasty place called hell, where all the things I just mentioned won't be there. It's dark, it's dreary, it's painful, fiery, and you're with the devil and his demonic host and all the worst people ever to live on the earth. I don't know about you, but I like option number 1 instead of option number 2. All right, guys, until the next time we get back together again, you know how we do it. We simply say God bless you and have a wonderful rest of the day or evening, whichever may apply. So long and take care. See you.